Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 55 of the Gilded City to the Lost Kingdom. 55, big double five. I know it's actually been 2 weeks since you last saw us, but it's been much longer since we last saw each other to play this game. But we are excited to be back at it, getting back into the groove of things. And if you're excited for us as we rapidly approach the end of this campaign, go ahead and let us know by leaving us a like, commenting, subscribing to the YouTube channel, ringing the bell, following the podcast, following us on social media at Rollers Guild, DND, on the social media platforms you can find in the description down below. And with all of that being said, let's go ahead and dive on in to tonight's episode. Content warning. Ravenloft as a setting can feature disturbing themes and ideas, and while it is never going to be our intention to upset anyone, it is worth noting. Specific tags can be found in the description of this episode. Last time, the party wrapped up their business with Ariadne and learned that Artemis's mother was being held in the palace by the forces of the Golden Flame. Returning to the Silver Flame headquarters, the party talked to the fundamentalists into aligning and allying with Ariadne in order to get her help when it comes time to mount the attack against the Golden Flame. Afterwards, the party discussed what their next steps should be and how much time they need to prepare. Finally, they discussed plans to break Artemis's mom free from the castle, with plans to hatch their scheme at 12:34 a.m. tonight. So, that is where we left off. I will say at this point, night has fallen outside of the crypt that the Silver Flame fundamentalists are using as their headquarters. And it's getting close to time to stage your jailbreak. So if anyone has something they want to do before you leave, now is the time to do it.
2 things. One, the whole rest of the day I was working on a case for the org.
Okay.
Just to get that half day
Moving
of
on.
work.
Yep.
Also, I find whoever, after I come out of my very focused state, I don't remember whose room is near mine, but I go
I can tell you
I come down from my little loft.
it's Penny.
I go into Penny's room and I'm like, hey, don't know if we talked about this earlier, but have we considered the fact that if Artemis's mom disappears from her tower, everybody's going to be on full alert?
Yeah, and?
I was just thinking that might make it difficult for future things.
Yeah.
I
am taking this as, if it were me, and I was Artemis, and I knew that my mom was trapped in a tower with my half-psychotic, maybe possessed brother, who is evil, allegedly. I don't know if he was evil or is evil now. Who's to say? That's Artie's problem, not ours. I feel like I would just want to get my mom out of there, right?
Sure.
I feel like this is just what he needs to do to
Okay.
get to the next thing, and it's all he's going to be thinking about. So I
So
feel
we'll
like we
just
just got to do this and
we'll
then
deal with the consequences.
yeah, and
Okay.
consequences, schmonsequences, as they say.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Good talk, Nyx.
This is a very different. She's just so over it.
Penny
Penny
said
is
I wanted to
dying
go
out of her
home
fucking-
4 months ago. Nothing's real where we are here. I'm convinced that this is all a dream and that we're just going to be spit out back in Waterdeep and no time has changed.
That would be interesting.
That's the ideal. That's what I'm going with.
So we're all just okay. Yep.
Crazy. Yeah.
Got it. That was all. I thought of that last week and I was like, hang on a second.
I think we're going to be moving things along very quickly after
Okay.
the mom is extracted.
Well, it has to be. I need at least 3 more days before everything moves along.
Oh, yeah, because you've got like stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we'll just hide you somewhere. Maybe
Okay.
in the mansion or Bowman's portable hole.
Okay. I don't want to do that again. I'll stay. The mansion sounds good. I don't.
Either one. Doesn't matter.
I made some progress. Don't know how much.
Are you feeling good about being responsible for teleporting us back to our real world? Do you feel like stressed about this or you feel good about that?
I'm real stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to put the pieces together in a way that makes sense and follow the plans. Because I got plans from Lottie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it sometimes designers design things and they write it down and it doesn't make sense to anybody else. Kind of in that stage of deciphering the instructions.
Yeah. I mean, like, is there a wrong way to put it together?
I don't know.
It's not like it'll blow up.
It potentially could.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's scary then. That's a lot of pressure for one person.
Yeah. But as long as I have time to like work on it, I feel like I should be okay.
We'll get you time.
Okay. Is it time to? What time is it?
I mean, it's starting to get close.
Should we go
Time
get
to
everybody?
Yeah, let's go rendezvous so that we can fuck everything up.
Anybody have anything else that they want to do before you leave on your midnight mission?
Did I already do the temporary hit points for everyone?
Yes.
I
I
did?
have them.
Yes? Okay. Should be 18 if you didn't do it.
Who thinks that they are the squishiest in our group? Who could use extra hit points? Is another way of putting that.
I would
On top of Jinarra's.
I have 130 plus the 18.
Nyx has the lowest HP total
Okay.
of all of you.
Great. I will do me, Nyx, and who's likely to be targeted if we get messed up? I need to do Elina, because we need you alive to cast spells. I'm going to cast Aid at just... Oh no, I'll do it at 3rd level. So all of us get an additional 10 hit points, and that's to our max, not the temporary.
Right. So you can heal this additional 10.
Cool.
Yeah.
unlike temporary hit points.
Is the plan that we're going in and I'm turning back into a human to suss out if there's traps? That was the plan, I believe, right?
That
'Cause I
does
can-
sound like a good plan.
Because I can get out and run down the side quick if I need to.
That does sound familiar.
I like that.
That's what I have in my notes.
Great, that's the plan.
Make sure I'm doing it
If it wasn't the
correctly.
plan, it is now the plan.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Great.
All right. Well, if no one has anything else, you all exit out of the crypt. As you're leaving, Nemesis says to you all, as you're leaving, she just says, I won't tell you not to do this, because I understand it is important, Lord Brightshield, for you to save your mother. But please be careful and leave at the first sign of danger.
Our group is very discreet when we need to be. We should be in and out, no problem, pending any unforeseen circumstances. But, I mean, we're clouds. There's not a good chance that they're looking out for clouds.
That is a good point.
But safety is priority number one. You have my word. And we'll be back. If the worst happens and we all get disastrously murdered, good luck. Don't die. Keep the stories alive.
Yes,
safe.
I suppose we'll just wait another few hundred years until the next Brightshield heir appears.
Yeah.
There's not a next Brightshield heir, is there?
We'll never say never. I've met several very fine young women that... Anyway, have a good night.
Sorry, I just want to point out that Nemesis fully believes that like Dagran has no game either. It's just Artemis.
Well, even if Dagran did have kids, they don't want anything to do with Dagran's kids.
Well, I know, but yeah.
The chosen.
It sucks to
So-
be the chosen one.
Elina, you have the spell prepared. What is it like as you cast the spell to turn everybody into clouds?
Okay.
And describe this incredibly powerful bit of spell casting that you're performing.
So, from my necklace of prayer beads, I pull one of the beads from it and say a few words, and it starts to glow, bright blue, let's call it, and the light like radiates to each and every one of you, and you suddenly feel the ability to shift your form and turn, and I'll say just will yourself to become a cloud, and you shall.
And it takes a minute, right?
It takes one minute.
Yeah. So over the course of the next minute, as you are all thinking about turning into a cloud, you all feel very strange sensations as slowly your bodies transform into gases. And suddenly you are collections of water vapor. And you still have all your senses about you. You still have your thoughts and everything, but you're clouds.
Can we communicate?
Nope.
Oh, fuck.
You're
These
clouds.
we're
How
going.
are you going to communicate?
Can we message each
You
other?
know where each other are, so you can just start flying in the correct
Are we
direction.
able to tell what's a cloud and what's our friend?
How
Probably.
transparent, like, how obvious of cloud are we? Are we like
You're fully a
human
cloud.
shape? Are
You're-
we a like humanoid shaped cloud, or are we just kind of like amorphous?
You're a wisp of cloud. You're just fully a wisp of
Wisps
cloud.
of cloud.
Several wisps of cloud that are currently very clustered together.
While in
We could make
cloud
a storm.
form, you have a flying speed of 300 feet. So, and resistance to damage from non-magical weapons. And the only actions you can take right now are dash or revert into your form, but that takes a minute.
I try to draw a dick in my chest. Finger.
It's you try to like
Form
okay,
yourself.
I can use my arm
just
to
form
do
yourself
this,
into
but
a
then
dick.
you realize you don't have an arm. So
I'm gonna make
Form
a
myself
unicorn.
into 100%.
sure, yeah,
Turn yourself into a cloud shape.
you each pick the shape of your cloud. Artemis's is quite phallic. Nyx's is unicorn-esque.
Penny's is a gun.
Penny's is just a gun. Great. What's a fun fact about Penny? Gun.
That's it.
Great. You're all in your cloud forms, and you begin your flight towards the Golden Flame District in the city above.
With the wind. We discussed traveling with the wind.
Doing your best to follow the way the wind is blowing so that you're not being too suspicious in your route here. As you're all sort of flying across the night sky here, I would like, and you can discuss amongst yourself who wants to be the one to do this, but I would like somebody to roll a d20 for me.
Kyra, you cast the spell. Go for it.
Okay,
Roll
I
Ori.
I have
Roll
an
the
Ori.
I will. I can,
I'll do it. I just did it. Hold on. That's a 20.
That's a 20. Great.
I'm using
Hopefully that
digital dice today because I don't know where mine are.
Fair
Fair.
enough. You all are flying across the night sky. You're getting close to where the tower is, and you're clouds. You don't really have eyes, but you have a sense of what's around you. And as you're getting close to the tower, whoever's at the front, which we'll say is Elina, you pick up, and steadily everybody else picks up, that the window is still slightly ajar. That is what you were rolling for. I would like somebody else, not Kyra, to roll a d20.
okay. $19.
19. Great. As you approach the window, which is slightly open, which would, in your gaseous forms, you could wisp right through. As you were getting close, none of you can sense. You only sense one person in the room. Right. Jinarra, since you were discussed as the person to go in first,
Yep.
what is that? What do you do? What's your plan?
So I'm going to, since the window's ajar a little bit, I'm going to try to squeeze into
Yeah.
it, which I'm assuming is pretty
Easy enough to do.
easy because
Yeah.
I'm a cloud. And then once I'm in, I'm assuming I have I can fully think
Yeah.
for a second. Do I see anything suspicious immediately before I do anything?
Yeah. So you sort of wisp into this room through the ajar window, and this is, it's a circular room, kind of the top of the tower. well, a semicircular room. The wall with the door in it is straight. But the other walls are just the curved exterior of the tower.
Okay.
As you sort of wisp into this room, you see that it is a fairly nice room, but not enormous, not ostentatiously decorated. So it doesn't feel like a jail cell. It's just a comfortable bedroom. The door to the room is closed as of right now. There are no lights on in the room. And in the four-poster bed, you see, through these sort of slightly transparent sort of curtains drawn around the bed, you can just make out through them the figure of presumably Artemis's mother lying in the bed. You hear very slight, just sort of mumbling, but very much in the way of like if someone were talking in their sleep.
Can I fly into the room a little bit more before I change into me? I just want to see if she has any sort of like extra concerning reaction before I'm like trapped in the middle of this minute-long process.
Yeah, you move further into the room. Go ahead and just make a perception check for me, or insight check, your choice.
Oh, it'll be perception. I rolled really bad, but I have plus 14, so that's 17.
17. You don't notice any change in Artemis's mother's sort of behavior or demeanor as you move into the room. She's still lying in bed, she's still mumbling. You see her like turn a little bit in the bed, but it not in any way that sort of triggers any concern or reaction from you.
I'm going to fly. Is there a darker area of the room?
Yeah, I mean, the sort of the window is in sort of the window's kind of opposite the door. So, like, in terms of like the moonlight sort of coming into the room, kind of the darkest areas of the room would be to either side of the window. So
I'll fly over to one of those areas.
Yeah.
And I'll start changing. Just in case I need to really quickly shadow step or something.
Right. Yeah, you begin the minute-long process of changing.
Yep.
Somebody who is outside the tower, who is not already rolled, so this will be Nyx or Penny or Artemis. I'd like one of you to just roll a d20 and tell me what you get.
Me? Okay.
I don't trust me or Kelly's rolls.
Nope.
There's going to be another one. Ben's explicitly going to call you out next. I know I haven't warmed up my dice. We'll see. 8.
8. Okay.
Wrong dice.
Okay. As the rest of you are hovering outside the window, you notice, and I would say Elina's probably the first one to notice because I think she has the highest passive of those of you outside. Yes.
Mine's a 20.
She does. No, Artemis does, technically. So Artemis, you're the first to notice. You notice that like on one of the, this is the kind of the tallest tower of the palace, but there are sort of walls, quite below you, but still below you. Artemis, you notice, you clock down on one of the walls of the palace. There are, guards sort of clearly on their patrols for the night. And it's hard to tell from this distance, but it looks like the guards may be looking up at the tower.
Mm-hmm. And we can't communicate.
Can we message? Because we can think.
Can we message? Is the only action we can take is... Because message is an action, right?
Correct. And it does have verbal and somatic components, so which you cannot perform as a cloud.
Okay, well, I'm gonna start just, like wisping away, not being a giant phallic cloud anymore. And just kind of turn into like foggy wisps and just start drifting away from the tower along with the wind, just really slow and hoping that the rest of my crew notice.
The rest of you notice what the cloud that is Artemis is doing.
Follow suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody follows suit.
Jinarra looks out the window. We're gone.
Yeah, everybody follows suit, starts drifting with the wind again. Artemis, make a perception check for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on. Let's try this dice again. 3! Oh wait, perception check? There's more.
Yeah, it's a perception check. You get
15.
15. Okay. You sort of keeping an eye on the guards down on the wall. They watch the clouds move for a moment and then lose interest and keep walking.
I think they
I'm
just
gonna-
saw a penis-shaped cloud and they were like,
Oh,
Hey
look.
guys, check it out.
It's a penis.
I'm gonna start just slowly changing my trajectory to, and then speed up slightly once we get. This is gonna take so long. Okay, what I'm gonna try to do is slowly start looping back around, but once we get far enough away that we're maybe out of sight, like pick up the pace.
Okay.
And then once we get out the city, like zip around and get back on that same trajectory.
Great. I assume everybody else is following suit.
yeah, I don't know where we're going, but
Okay. So this is obviously going to take a little bit of time. Jinarra, you finish your transformation back into human form.
Do I notice my friends like going?
You glance out the window and you do not see the clouds there.
Can I see if I hear anything? Like, can I see if there's guards coming?
You make a perception check.
Why am I rolling so poorly? Okay, that was 18, and this dice needs to go away now.
18. Okay. You listen quietly. You know, Artemis's mom is still muttering in her sleep. You hear, the slight sound of wind outside. It's a warm night, which is probably why the window was left open. You would guess. You hear the occasional like creak of like the wooden floorboards beneath you, but nothing. It doesn't sound like, as far as you can tell, it doesn't sound like there's like a group of guards marching up the stairs to the room or anything.
Okay.
But your friends aren't right outside the window just now. So what are you doing?
I'm going to cast. Wait, is this concentration? It is concentration. Never mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go up to Elina. How do we say her name? I'm going to go up to Artemis's mom. Do I get to anything that she's muttering?
Go for Elina. That's distinct enough from Elina.
Yeah. Elina.
We'll just say that's how it's pronounced.
Okay, you go towards the bed.
But before I really approach, can I just see if I see, like, can I tell? I don't have any of the, like, magic Artemis does to, like, sense magical things.
Yeah.
Like, do I see any traps?
Yeah, go ahead. This will be, if you're sort of doing a once-over for traps in this space, that is going to be an investigation check.
Ooh, yay. -1.
You got this. You got this.
You got this.
I'm using a different die. Please. It's a 12.
12.
Wait,
You
no, it's an 11. -1.
okay? An 11. You do not pick up on any traps in the room.
I feel very safe. I will approach the bed and see if I can hear what she's muttering.
Okay. As you do that, just roll a d20 for me and tell me what you get.
Cool.
There's too much random rolling.
7.
7. As you make your way across the room, a floorboard creaks loudly.
I cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay, you cast Pass Without a Trace on yourself. Now, I'm gonna roll for something. Okay. You hold still for a moment. Elena, is that how we're saying it, Artemis?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
Elena
Thank our mom.
is
Tell her mom.
stirs slightly more. You pause. You're listening. Go ahead and make another perception check for me.
Perception, I like more than investigation. That's a lot better. 28.
28. You listen. You want to make sure that that creak didn't attract anyone's attention downstairs. You don't hear anyone.
Okay.
You continue making your way across the room more quietly now. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
27.
27. Silently, you make your way across the room closer to the bed. And, peering through the curtains around the bed. Artemis, you described your mom as having sort of dark hair, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Peering through the curtains, you see this elven woman. Still has dark hair, but it's gone gray in places. Which is not particularly normal for elves. Elves don't really show much sign of aging until they are quite old, until they are near the end of their life. And Artemis's mom shouldn't really be old enough to be showing those signs yet, as far as you know. But so slightly graying hair. In places, and her eyes are closed. She's turning, she's tossing and turning in her sleep, and it's even close to her hard to tell what any of the sort of mutterings are. They don't seem particularly coherent or cohesive. You catch a name, Roderick, in her mutterings. And the other word that you really clock is just no. And she says that one pretty frequently, in her sort of mutterings in her sleep.
I mean, we learned that remove curse might help her, which I have, but should I wait for others to arrive first?
Well, there's no one else here for you to ask. But
That's true. I'm gonna look out the window and I'm gonna see where they are.
okay. Well, hey,
Well,
Zuzu
what's
and
next?
Kelly, neither of you have made a roll yet, so I would like one of the two of you to roll
Fine.
for me and let me know what number you get.
Let's go, Nat 1.
9.
9. Jinarra, you glance out the window, you don't see them back yet.
I think Jinarra is going to probably assume something's gone wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and cast Remove Curse and deal with the consequences alone.
Great. We love it. We love to see it. Okay. So,
Oh, there's a stranger in my bedroom.
Since this is not concentration, do I still get to keep Pass Without a Trace?
yes,
Okay.
you do.
That's cool.
Okay.
Oh.
You reach out your hands. You place your hand on Artemis's mother. She stirs, like quickly stirs, and you cast Remove Curse. Roll a d20 for me and add your spellcasting modifier, which for you is charisma.
Oh. Okay. Please be okay. 18.
18. The spell goes off. Cast Remove Curse. Artemis's mom like turns. She sits up in bed, her eyes open wide. And her pupils like dilate majorly for a moment. And she's confused and she's like tosses a little bit, throws the blankets off of her, scrambles away from you.
I'm
like,
a friend of Artemis's.
Lands on like her backside on the floor on the other side of the bed from you, scrambles away. It does make a pretty loud bang when she hits the ground.
Yeah.
She scrambles up against the wall and she's just like, deer. Well, you wouldn't have any context for the phrase deer caught in the headlights, but you know, that's the kind of look on her face, is this just like look of surprise and confusion and not sure what's going on. And she, as her pupils continue to like dilate, she shakes her head and is like trying to concentrate, like clearly trying to concentrate. Jinarra, make a perception check for me.
Please be better. Yes. 33.
33. You do hear noises coming from downstairs.
Okay.
Artemis's mom like looks at you, and the first like words she strings together are like, friend of Artemis. What?
I'm a friend of Artemis's. I'm trying to help. I think people are coming, and I think we need to get out of here. Do you think you could hold on to my back?
Hang on. What is going on? Where am I?
On you. I just cast Remove Curse. Artemis is in the sky as a cloud. I had to act quickly. We need to go. Can I help you get out of here?
Make a persuasion check for me, and at the same time, Zuzu, I would love for you to roll a d20 for me.
I do not have calm emotions.
17.
17! Perfect timing. The clouds roll up to the window. You all see
It's gonna take a minute.
Artemis's mom is inside, is like standing up. She's against the wall. Jinarra, you clock that the clouds are outside the window. You have probably more than one way you could proceed. What did you get on your persuasion check again here?
Got a 7.
You got a 7.
Wait, hold on. I have luck.
is
I'm
great.
using luck. I need to use luck for this. Hold on. That's a lot better. I got a 16.
Okay. 16 is definitely better than 7. She's not like 100% there to trusting you just yet. You do hear, however, the sound of somebody on the stairs, and she can now hear that too. And she says, why should I? Hang on, I need to figure out what the hell is happening. I've got too much in. Yes, Artemis.
I would like to enter the room and assume an Artemis-shaped form in the windowsill and begin turning.
Okay. Artemis, you start drifting in, start turning. Your mom looks and says, what the?
That's Artemis. They're clouds. I was a. It's very powerful magic. We really have to go.
Make another persuasion check for me.
Can I also start to like shift in the
Yes,
room?
you may.
Is there any way I can give Jinarra bardic inspiration?
Nope. Not until you're a human again. What'd you get, Jinarra?
Got an 8.
You got an 8. Artemis's mom says, we're not going anywhere until I know what the fuck is going on. Who's coming up those stairs?
They are assuming. I'm assuming they're Dagrin's guards. He's been keeping you in this tower. I think that's the.
I'm not going anywhere with you. Just block the door until I figure out what the fuck is happening.
I start blocking the door. Then it's what the lady wants.
Yeah. You look around at the room. There is a wardrobe that you could move in front of the door. Go ahead and make an athletics check for me to do that.
I probably will have an easier time with that than persuasion right now.
But you're doing it sneakily because of...
I am doing it sneakily. I mean, they're coming. Who the heck is... Oh,
Nice.
I'm rolling luck again. We're rolling luck again. That's what's happening with that, because that was a nat 1. That's not what we're doing right now.
The wardrobe is a...
Nat 1!
Another nat 1. Great. You go to move the wardrobe. It's really heavy. And you like really try to push it, really try to shove it, and it's not moving. And at that moment, bursting in through the door is a heavily armored guard of Oikos, and he turns and he sees Artemis's mom first, and he was like, ma'am, I heard a noise up here. Are you all right? And then Jinarra, roll a stealth check for me.
Oh, thank goodness. I think this I'll be okay with. I have plus 19 right now. If I get anything other than a nat 1, I'll be okay. 30. Wait, is that 40? It's like 38 or something.
Really high.
I like when we're at this point in the game where we go, oh, is it a 30 or a 40? It matters.
He doesn't notice you. He does notice clouds in the room. And he's like, what the hell is going on here? Jinarra, he hasn't noticed you yet. What are you doing?
Just silently panicking.
Knock him out.
He hasn't noticed me yet.
He has not noticed you yet.
Yeah, but he's heavily armored. If I attack him, he will know I am there.
But you currently have advantage on anything you would try to do against him.
True.
Yeah,
All
but
right. I'm going to punch him.
Okay.
I'll try to knock him out with a punch.
As soon as the guard comes to the door, Bowmin, I think, is going to start turning it out of his cloud.
Yeah. Go ahead, make an attack roll with advantage for me, Jinarra.
Are we all in the room, or?
Neither Penny or Nyx has indicated they've drifted into the room yet.
Drifted in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
Both of you also drift into the room.
Because I can't see what's happening.
I'm
I'm behind a lot of clouds.
So there's just more clouds coming in through the open window.
Got a 21 to hit.
21 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Are you throwing on anything else?
I'll try to stun him.
Okay.
I mean, there's not many other things I can do.
Yeah.
So that's 8 damage.
That's 8 damage.
And to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
He got a total of 12 on the con save.
And he's stunned.
He is stunned. He takes 8 damage, which is not enough to drop him, but he is stunned. He can't move. I will say at this point, Artemis finishes his transformation back into human form. You have a stunned guard in front of you. What would you like to do? And your mom sees you. Is like, Artie, what are you? What's happening?
She
One
was
moment. I'm gonna turn the stun guard into a little kitten
Great.
with polymorph.
Yeah. What's the
I'm just
save
gonna
on
pick it
that?
up by the scruff.
What's the save on the polymorph?
21.
He probably can't make it. He definitely can't make it.
Artie, will you
Wisdom.
help me
Yeah.
move
Nope.
this
He doesn't
dresser?
make it.
to try to stop other guards from coming in real quick.
Yeah, here we go. Don't worry. You and I are incredibly, hi mom, incredibly well fit. My little wink gives you a bardic inspiration. Let's try and move it together.
Okay. One of you
Okay.
can make athletics with advantage, or you can both make it and see if a combined total gets you to the number.
Already you roll, I give up.
Roll with advantage.
All right. Okay, 17 and 7. Athletics?
Yep.
19.
19. You were able to push the wardrobe in the way. Artemis, the kitten that was the guard, comes out of stun and just goes,
Oh, here, here. And I'll just like pick him up. I've got some cloth. I'm gonna gently just muffle any kitten noises it might make and just bundle it up.
Elina, you are back in your normal elven form. Bowmin following shortly after, and eventually Nyx and Penny as well.
Can I assess the situation, and would it be beneficial if I cast Calm Emotions?
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check for me.
Okay, insight. 21.
21. Artemis's mom has
Got it going on.
been. That's your mother.
I live for bits.
Artemis's mom has just. You can tell that some magic has just been cast upon her. Probably remove curse from Jinarra, because you had discussed previously that you had greater restoration, Jinarra had removed curse. So Jinarra must have tried that. But what that means is years of a muddled mind state were suddenly lifted all at once. And so her brain is trying to process a truly immense amount of information about that entire time that she was cursed. And then on top of that, a bunch of clouds just came into her room, turned into people. Her son Artemis is here. You think nothing could be better than a Calm Emotions right now.
Excellent. Then I will be casting Calm Emotions on the room. It's a 20-foot radius, and I think everybody who's inside of it is affected. If they want to not be affected, it's a charisma 18.
I guess the cat should roll for charisma, probably.
That's true. Cat fails as well.
Take it after those.
Actually, it says humanoid, so I don't know if the cat would be affected.
Cat
He's a true humanoid.
Yeah, but right now he's not a humanoid. He's a small beast. Or even a tiny beast. He's probably a tiny beast. Tiny beast. Artemis's mom, like, you can see as the spell comes into effect, like, this tightness in her shoulders, like, very slightly releases. And she looks over at Artemis and says, I am very confused about what is happening right now.
That's understandable.
I remember a lot all at once, and I can't make sense of any of it. And then there was a strange woman standing over my bed saying she was your friend, and then you were a cloud, and now you're here, and there was a man in armor, and now he's a kitten.
I'm just gonna run up and hug her.
As you do, she stops talking for a moment and hugs you back.
As we're hugging, I'm just gonna hold out the kitten for somebody to take.
Bowmin
I'll
grabs
take it.
it.
There you go.
As you sort of pull, as you pull away from the hug, you see like she's got tears in her eyes, and she says, "Artemis, your brother, he killed your father."
I know.
What?
I know.
How?
Sorry, Mom. I couldn't handle it. I ran. I'm sorry.
Don't you? It's not your fault. I just don't. It's going to take me time to. How long has it been? I don't even know how much time I'm missing. I just know I'm missing time, and I've got all these memories that I have to make sense of, and I don't even know if half of them are real. It's been a fever dream for. Well, how long?
I know. It has been some time, but I want you to focus on something else right now. Right now, I promise you, I'm going to keep you safe, and we need to get out of this room. We're in a tower. These are my friends. I trust them with my life. They can help you. We're going to get us all to a safe place, and then you and I can start unpacking things. And it's going to be a lot to unpack, but for now, you just got to take a leap of faith with me.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
That would be sometimes the dice tell stories. That would be a 36 natural 20.
Nice. She takes a deep breath and says, "All right, Artemis. Of course, I trust you. What's your plan for getting us out of here?"
Well, we can't turn you into clouds, but I can turn us into other things. Oh my god, can I cast multiple? Can I target multiple people? Please hold. Matt needs to check his spells. I can't cast it on multiple people, can I?
I might be able to help.
So
Thank you.
Hold on.
I will say you could cast polymorph and then turn into a cloud because you can maintain concentration.
Oh, thank
Here's
you.
the problem: polymorph is concentration, and you currently have concentration on a different
On a cat? Yeah.
Mm.
So
Can you just could we put the cat
We could throw him out the door.
outside?
I don't see. I thought about throwing a cat out the window, but A, that seems really bad, and B, that's just murder of a guy who's doing his job.
Let
Can we just
let's-
lock them?
No, I just mean could possibly Jinarra climb the cat to the roof and leave him there and then climb back down?
Can we just lock him in a closet? We know that Watch is gonna come by to feed her. He's not gonna be in there for more than 12 hours.
Can we put the cat in one of the drawers of the dresser?
Well, when he turns back, it'll explode out of the dress.
I'm trying to say put him on the roof. So
How?
he won't be.
he-
Jinarra's good at climbing.
Oh, you can
what
climb,
if
that's
we
right.
just open the door,
Who's gonna
put
climb?
him on the other side of the door, and lock the door, or like barricade the door
I mean,
so we can't get back in?
Door
There
is
may be
currently
other
barricaded.
guards out there.
Well, we can. Fair.
Hey, why can't we just leave him in the room? Is he perceiving things?
Yes.
So he's listening to this whole
Yes. Yes. His
I actually
cat head
think-
is like following the
I actually
conversation.
think I'm gonna give a little speech to the cat before we do leave.
Okay.
we take the cat with us?
No, because he's gonna turn
It'll-
into a
it'll drop.
man.
In an hour.
If
Yeah. Also, the problem
Who
is,
has rope? Who has rope? We can just tie up the.
guy.
No, because the cat won't.
I
I do
think
like the roof plan. I'm on board with the roof
Yeah,
plan now.
Thank you.
we just have to make sure we don't fly over the roof.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the roof flat? Or am I
no, it's a steep roof, but you could
Shit,
put the
okay,
cat
we
up
can't do
there.
that.
Survive.
The
You
cat,
can't put
the
a kitten
cat,
on a steep
and
roof.
then he just have to when he turns back, he'll just have to quickly hug the spire to hang on. And
Okay.
call
Seems
for
fine.
help.
I have a thought. We have a 4-poster bed. That's a lot of fabric. Let's just wrap the cat in a crap ton of fabric, and so that when he turns back into a human, he's going to be so twisted that he can't do anything for a good 10 minutes anyway, because he's going to have to get out of the fabric.
Would that
I
suffocate
feel
the
like
cat?
this guard probably now knows all the thing we could do. Maybe if we just don't attack said guard, will you just not attack us? Can I look at the cat? I'm not gonna put you on a steep roof if you don't attack us.
But we could.
But we could.
Claws in your
Very much.
Ah.
paw.
Yeah, we gotta put him on the roof.
Well, Bowmin's gonna grab the cat, hold it up,
Oh,
and
no.
right in the face. All right, 2 options, because I know you can hear me. 1, kitty go out the window. 2, kitty stay quiet. Hey, you want me to roll
Make an intimidation
I
check
can roll
for
an
me.
I am good at that. Nat 20 plus 10, 30. Cat pees a little bit.
Yeah,
Ew.
actually, there is a little leakage from the cat.
Oh wow. Okay. Can we go? This has been the worst depressing thing in the
I
world.
hate this.
All
I'm
right.
sorry I didn't turn him into a slug.
Mama Brightshield, are you coming with us or not?
Yes, how am I coming with you?
I can turn you into a little sparrow. And
Okay.
we're going to then turn back into it's actually kind of fun. I've done it before. It's a little weird at first. You can do some practice laps around inside the room. It takes about a minute for us to turn into clouds. You fly with the clouds, nice and slow, and we're just gonna fly away from the city and then down. Just follow the clouds.
Okay, I can do that. Yes, I can do that.
I'll stay close.
Okay.
All right, so the cat's good?
So, okay, this is my plan. Artemis turns his mom into the bird. Bowmin will actively be holding his battle axe against this man's head
Okay.
while there's a situation, just keeping him quiet as much as possible. And Bowmin will be the last one to turn to a cloud and leave the room.
Okay.
Are you holding your battle axe as you're turning?
Sure, why not?
It suddenly drops.
Yeah, you set the cat down, holding out your great axe to the cat's, chin. Artemis, you
What a picture.
drop concentration on polymorph 1, cast polymorph 2. As you do, guard turns into a man again, and he sort of scrambles away from the axe as best as he can. He's against the wall now, and he's got just sort of a wild look in his eyes, and he says, he's very quietly, but he says, "You won't get away with this for long. The golden flame will find where you're hiding, and he will send our prince, and our prince will tear you apart."
Bowmin leans forward and whispers, "I look forward to it."
Maybe
Um,
consider though that we could have killed you, and we didn't. Maybe you're on the wrong side.
maybe you just don't have the will to do what needs to be done.
Is that a challenge?
No, it's not a challenge.
All right, everybody, leave.
One by one, you turn back into clouds. Takes a full minute. Little sparrow, Elina is sort of circling the room, and then Bowmin, you're the last to turn into a cloud, and you all fly out the window.
Real quick, before Bowmin fully turns, he's just gonna take a little bit of coin out of his pocket and just leave it.
Okay.
This isn't the only life you
You all fly away from the tower. After you make your way across the city, it takes a little while, but you make your way back across the city, loop down to the crypt, turn back into people, drop the polymorph on your mother, and enter the hideout.
We have that anti-scrying thing, right? The necklace. Someone has
I
that.
believe
Somebody
Nyx is
has it.
wearing it.
I think I do.
Great.
Sure do.
Did we say we were gonna put that on my mother, or just keep her close to you?
We can just keep her. I can do this around her.
Okay. Yeah.
As you sort of enter, Taryn Duran is like, I do continue to amaze Lord Brightshield. Madam, and he bows to your mother and says, it is an honor to meet you. Your son has given us hope where there was none before. And she looks a little confused and looks between Taryn and then back at you, Artemis, and then like back at Taryn and says, yes, thank you. I've just been through quite an ordeal, so if you don't mind, I would like a chance to actually speak privately with my son. Yes, of course, madam. Your son has so graciously and kindly created a magical safe haven to
No, the password.
within. She turns to you, Artemis, sees this look on your face, and says, you have grown quite powerful with your magic.
The rest
Yes,
of us are
and
dying.
I'm incredibly responsible with all of it.
and
We
if,
have to go in there now.
Mhm.
and if I may,
Let's show her the mansion.
if I may
Let's
add,
see.
very mature. Your son is
Mhm.
very, very adult, very mature. Artemis, what was the password again?
Oh, we just gotta go in.
Yeah, we do. Let's go. Let's
can't-
show her.
We gotta. This is show and tell. This is not
Spell.
just tell.
It'll
Yeah.
be safe. We'll be safe in there.
Mhm.
Yep, we go in. I keep it's all remains. Cause
And just-
I need
Just for the record, could you remind our audience at home who may have forgotten what the password is?
yeah. I get in, there's just fog everywhere, and maybe Artemis says this statement for the first time sheepishly in his life. I can't wait to sleep with Artemis.
The
And the
fog
clouds
rolls-
clear to a beautiful day. No, the castle's at sunset. It's nice.
You glance back over your shoulder at your mother, whose eyebrows have disappeared off the top of her forehead.
Not something a lot of people want to say, so
The
it's better.
less I know about your sex life, the better.
That's
Auntie.
not. Anyway, you're going to be sleeping in my room. I'll be taking the basement.
I feel like I've been asleep for years. I would like to talk if you're up to it. I
Yeah, of
need
course.
help understanding what has happened.
Yeah, let's find. Hold on, let me pull up my friggin' map again. God, this place is
And
huge.
your friends are welcome to join. I just didn't want to talk with that sycophant.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's a bit much. I have a sitting room. Please, this way. We will go in, turn left into the sitting room.
Right.
And I will instruct the Dannies to fetch us various refreshments.
Yeah, the
And
Danny's
prepare dinner.
Danny's return with it's quite late, you know,
A midnight snack.
it's well after 1 a.m., but they return to the sitting room with tea and biscuits
Thanks.
and other food as well, and also, of course, a collection of spirits. They have now learned Bowman's preferences, so bring the strongest spirits available to Bowman.
The bottles are like warping underneath.
Yeah.
Bowman
Um,
corks pops the cork, puts a little lighter to it.
And then one Danny remains in the corner of the room to help you all. And your mother looks over at him and then says, "What's the deal with the identical servant guys?"
They come with the house, and so it's just easier to. It's a bit of an inside joke.
You know, they
Seem very funny now.
did teach us some magic when I was growing up in Silvery Moon. But, you know, I was never a particularly prolific spellcaster, so all of this is incredible.
I learned it through just listening and kind of watching everyone else, actually. A lot of this is inspired by my friends. Kind of a copycat like that. If any of you repeat that, I will. Just please don't tell my fans that. Like I knew someone who could control time, so I got a.
Fans?
Oh, yeah. No, he is.
So it's been a handful.
He's a very talented musician.
I'll get the record.
Yeah.
There definitely is a record.
I'm so
Octavia-
upset that every room has.
Octavia's mom is a must.
Yeah.
You break
This is
out
his
the
number one thing.
gramophone and you put on one of the wax cylinders of Artemis's music. Starts playing and filling the room. And
It's really just a pastime.
Your son is very talented.
He's very talented.
well done, Artemis. I knew you had always had a passion for music. I'm happy to see that it's come to something.
Thanks.
And your friends, I'm sorry, and she turns to the rest of you and says, I apologize for my lack of decorum. I would my name is Elina Galanadel. I would love to know what your names are.
Nyx.
Bowman.
I'm Elina.
Similar names.
Yes.
Penny.
I'm Jinarra. I'm sorry I scared you in the tower.
I imagine that I would have been scared regardless. A lot has happened to me, and I had some time to think about it as we were coming back here, but it's still a jumble. The last clear memory I have from before the jumble was, and her voice sort of catches, and she takes a moment, musters her emotional control, and then continues. I walked in as your brother was disposing of your father. And when he turned and saw me, there was a strange look on his face, and I thought he would turn the sword on me, but instead I was struck with some kind of magic, and then I was lost in an endless nightmare for, well, however long it's been. I haven't said specifically, but years, you said?
Yeah. This is the part where Artemis does know the exact number of years, but Matt doesn't, so he's just gonna say 4?
Sure. And whatever the number of years is specifically, he says.
4. It's canon.
Yep. It's canon now. That's a long time. What has happened since then? I know Dagrin and I were traveling, but I don't know where we are now and what's going on here.
Well, from what I know, after Dad, I ran, and I went to Waterdeep for a good 2 years or so, and then I found my friends.
What did you know about your father's death?
I knew it happened. Something told me Dagrin was involved, and it was a gut. It was a gut instinct.
You had already left home. You had had that fight with your father. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm just trying to figure out. It's just a lot to try to piece together.
No, yeah. So we had the fight, and I was pretty pissed off about it, and doing everything I could to make him more angry. And then word reached me, and I don't know, something in me, I knew I had to run. Instead of coming and helping you, I ran. But I like to think I got stronger. I learned some things from a lot of people. And after a couple years, Dagrin started talking to me again. We played a little game, a dance for a while. Me trying to prove to him that I was worthy. But then word reached me from back home that something had happened, and when we went to visit, it was well, it wasn't a very pretty sight. Everyone was No one's there anymore. And you and Dagrin were gone. So we pieced some things together and followed you both to Ravenloft. And we're in a lost, forgotten little corner of Ravenloft. We found Oikos, see? That's where we are.
Your father's the story kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real. Very real. And in a bit of trouble. So we're trying to help out.
Don't fully understand what has become your brother. But
Me neither.
he didn't do to me what he did to your father. And so I'm trying to piece together my fragmented memories from these last 4 years. He was caring for me. He was making sure I ate, slept, bathing me. I wasn't capable of doing anything myself. And your brother did most of the caring for me himself.
Something has a hold of him. There's a oh, you remember the stories? There was always this entity, the Silver Flame.
Yes,
always
I
the big-
remember the god your father worshipped.
Yeah, there's someone who isn't very happy with the Silver Flame. An ancestor of, well, I guess just mine, of ours, I guess. He he turned his back on the flame a while ago and is trying to replace him, the Golden Flame. And somehow he's sunk his claws into Dagrin, and I think somehow he's got a hold of him. But he's pretty far lost. Not entirely, I don't think, but it's not easy.
Artemis, I would like to apologize to you, both on behalf of myself, also on behalf of your father. He was hard on you, very hard on you, ways that he should not have been. He didn't accept the young man you were becoming. And I should have done to temper your father's behavior. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Doesn't.
It's not I failed as your mother, and now here we are. I failed as Dagger's mother, and now here we are.
Get it sorted, and we'll all go back home. You'll see.
The rest of you, how did you meet Artemis? What is...
We met Artemis in a sewer.
Yeah.
Nyx was so happy.
What?
Oh, yeah. So most of us met Artemis in a sewer. Elina has joined us since we entered.
Yes,
Um,
I'm from Ravenloft,
Yeah.
so I met
I
them.
see.
I'm sorry, Sally needs attention.
It's in.
but we defeated some really bad guys together. And then when Artemis and got pretty close, and then when Artemis needed to go on this quest to find you, we stuck by his side and came with him.
That's very... I am happy that you are such good friends to my son, who has long not had many close friends. Well, growing up, he didn't have many close friends.
Really,
Artemis
tell
drinks.
us more about Artemis.
Artemis
as a child.
drinks.
That was probably fascinating. Having Artemis as a child.
Yeah, was he always
This
this? Like, was that like, was he performing theatrical things and being as dramatic when it was like bath time? Was that
Well, he always liked to put on a show. He liked doing everything he could to get the attention of myself, of his father, of the butler, of the maid, of whoever was around. He's always liked attention.
But not many friends.
Hmm.
That's surprising.
is very charismatic.
Right.
Well,
Look at him.
Well, you have to understand,
Sweat.
he and his brother were mostly raised at home. My husband took charge of much of their upbringing and education, and they had tutors, and so we didn't send them off to school, so it wasn't. He didn't have much interaction with children his own age growing up.
You know,
But you can barely tell,
that
really.
does
Gotta, like, get more drinks.
that does explain some things for sure.
Well, when he got older and he and his father were fighting more, and he would often run off to the local taverns and perform there, and I always thought that he should be free to nurture his musical interests. Roderick did not necessarily feel the same, but
Well, as your almost daughter-in-law, I've got to tell you, Elina, Artemis has been a real treat to have around.
are you two
Intimately.
This is wonderful. I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest, I really clocked a lesbian vibe from you, but I
No, we're very much involved.
that's
It's been a really
wonderful.
good year.
That's wonderful.
I'm gonna message Penny and go, what the fuck? Since when?
That's such a good way to get back at Artemis.
Well,
Such a
Bowman's
good
gonna
move.
lean over to Nyx and just go, "Is Penny possessed again?"
I'm gonna insight check her.
Insight check.
18.
Oh, she's fucking with Artemis. I mean, come on. This is the perfect payback to the joke proposal.
I'm gonna lean back over to Bowman and I'm gonna be like, she's totally serious.
I knew it.
Oh,
Artemis's mom, immaculate gaydar. Bowman, underneath the floorboards.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bowman's passive perception is 13, but that's also for social aspects as well.
I'll come back with like 6 more bottles.
Yeah.
I put them off to the side. Easy access later. So, what did I miss? We're all talking about fun memories.
Your lovely betrothed, Penny was just telling me how lucky you were to be a couple.
Yeah. And just talking about how great of an addition you've been. Really feel like we've grown over the years, all of us, you know?
We have grown.
Penny's just gonna put her hand on top of Artemis and give it a little pat pat.
Bowman's thinking in his head, "This is why Penny doesn't like Rose Wilmington."
Not it couldn't possibly be because Penny's been begging for Bowman's attention this whole time.
Maybe. Ooh.
is Artemis speechless?
But the future nuptials aside, we do need to regroup and come up with a plan because as Nyx was saying earlier, the timeline's going to be expedited once they see that Elena's gone.
They might already know. I mean, I think that guard agreed to not attack us, but I'm quite certain as soon as we were gone, he probably went and
Sounded the alarm.
Yeah.
And Nyx still needs time to make the contraption so that we are able to leave this hellhole.
Mm-hmm.
And Elina still needs time to read her book as well.
Yeah. So let's see. We need to keep you safe, Mom, because there's certain magics that can tell where a person is and just kind of find them.
Oh, yeah,
So-
and I take off the amulet. I guess it's an amulet.
Yeah.
Put this on. I know it doesn't it's not the highest fashion, but it'll help.
It's actually quite lovely. Who made this?
A guy named Amos.
Good craftsmanship.
We should see about if we could get another version of that or something
For
for
us.
when we're not near. Yeah. Yeah, so they're going to be looking for Dagran's got a whole army at his disposal in the city. They're a little brutal. They're all kind of radicalized. And we're trying to calm everything down. Kind of bring things back to how they used to be in the city. And then once we do that, or at least in a couple more days, we can get you out of here and get everyone out and
Return like
You
us
think?
to where it should be. Maybe.
that's the plan. But there's a big demigod who's really pissed off in the way. We've dealt with worse.
Are your intentions? We flew over this city. Are your intentions to bring the entire city back?
That is the goal. We have means that we think might work.
There's still more work to be done.
I know that I don't have a full grasp of the situation, but have you thought what
See, that's
the
where
sudden appearance of an entire city back in Faerun would mean?
I've
no,
pondered on it for a couple minutes.
Yeah,
But
we've not thought about that.
we are very much a
I've-
do group.
I've heard that it's near the manor.
Okay.
Is the we think is the intended idea. It used to be there.
Sure, but according to your father's stories, that would have been 500 years ago.
People have forgotten about it. For sure.
I will obviously, like I said, I don't have full context for what's going on, what the situation is, but I mean, the last I remembered, it didn't seem like things were particularly at ease on the geopolitical side of things.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Still tensions between what remained of Cormier and the Sword Coast Federation, and then I don't even know if you know anything about this, but there was a brewing Cold War between the Sword Coast Federation and Fae. No,
we
you
know
don't know
about
anything
this?
about this. Great. Well, maybe it's not anymore. I don't know. But
No, ma'am, it's entirely possible that us doing this is going to cause a very large scale geopolitical conflict.
I'm
But
pretty sure.
also, all of the people in this city are being controlled and like at the mercy of a really, really, really bad guy. And if we get rid of that really, really, really bad guy, it does seem like the land that they are on just kind of disappears over time. And that seems like a pretty bad fate for these people.
Concerned about the large scale city or the amount of people?
Or both.
Or
well, I think I'm probably concerned about both. Artemis wasn't never really one for politics. I, on the other hand, was.
I think my local representative is in this room. Jinarra, didn't you run?
I did, and I have since.
You're no longer a
I'm
representative.
no longer because I'm
That's right.
leaving, but yes.
I know a couple of senators.
Yeah.
Quite
Yeah,
well.
you know one
I know
particularly
one
intimately.
real well.
Artemis, you didn't know your grandfather through me all that well, but he was an ambassador. So we should do what we can to help the people who are here, because from what you've just described, it sounds like they are in not a great situation.
No.
If a foreign city-state suddenly appears within the territory of the Sword Coast Federation, that will be seen by many in their government, I am sure. I don't know who is the president of the Federation. Do any of you know?
Actually, a good friend of ours.
Okay.
I don't remember their name off the top of my head, but Artemis does. It's an elf, isn't it?
Is it the woman, right?
She
Yeah.
was running for president, but she did not win the election.
Oh.
Let's see. I'm control effing president.
You can roll a history check. I mean, it's a low DC, but you would know.
Thaddeus Wolf Jr.
It is, in fact, Thaddeus Wolf Jr. is the current president.
Thank you, 2024 technology.
Jinarra would know at least some of this information, but maybe not.
Yeah. Jinarra would for sure know some of this information. Jinarra, you would know that, like, Thaddeus Wolf, the president of the Sword Coast Federation, who, you know, Lashana Silverhand, who's the Open Lord of Waterdeep.
Yep.
Very sort of progressive
Yep.
person. Thaddeus Wolf, very conservative person.
Okay.
Thaddeus Wolf just barely beat Lashana Silverhand in the last presidential election. Pretty slim margin. Lashana Silverhand is still Open Lord of Waterdeep. Waterdeep is also the current capital of the Sword Coast Federation, because the capital of the Sword Coast Federation changes every few years, per the contents of the founding documents of the Federation. If Lashana Silverhand were president, maybe a lot easier to smooth over the sudden appearance of a city. Thaddeus Wolf is president, bigger ask.
Maybe having an entity between the two will be helpful in some way. A mediator, an independent. Sure, it's going to be hated, but we can work on that. All I know is its people are getting twisted and used. Those that don't agree are burned alive in ritual public sacrifice.
Is there a way to save the people of the city without saving the city?
I don't know.
Because refugees are not popular. They are less unpopular than a new nation on the foreign stage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Could we pack as many people as possible into like a building and just bring a building instead of a full city?
Well, Nyx, you would know from your conversation with Lottie that once everything's hooked up to the Silver Flame Hearth,
I can transport a bunch of people.
you could transport basically it would be up to you what you transport. You
Right.
could transport the whole city. You could transport just the people in it. You could transport just yourselves. You could transport, you know, however much or little you wanted to. And, you know, I'll also say anybody who wants to can make your choice, history or insight check.
I got a natural one.
A natural one.
Natural 20
Ooh.
or a
nice.
24.
What were you rolling for?
I am rolling for. You said history or
Insight.
insight? Insight.
Insight. Okay.
21.
21 insight.
25 insight.
25 insight. I think, the three of you, you're sort of thinking about it, and what Artemis's mom is saying does have some merit. But also, she has fully kicked into sort of a very analytical, political mindset, right? Because it's easier for her to do that right now than it is to, like, really reckon with the emotional toll of what she's just gone through over the last 4 years. And so she's trying to find something to latch onto. So I think that's thing number one that the three of you clock. I think the second thing the three of you clock is the fact of the matter is Artemis' mom is working with out-of-date information about what the Sword Coast Federation is like. Now, a lot of what she's saying definitely has some merit. But also, that between 4 years ago and now, there has been a major shift. There is a much larger, more vocal, liberal voice in the politics in the Sword Coast Federation than there was 4 years. Now, obviously, there's still a conservative president, but there's more room to negotiate that than there may have been 4 years ago. I think that's the second thing the three of you sort of. I think the other thing the three of you clock is, like I said, there's merit in what Artemis's mom is saying, and you could take just the people back. But at the same time, then you are separating them from their homes, from the city that they have lived their entire lives in. You're separating them from probably all of their wealth and belongings. So I'm not going to tell you what the correct answer is, because obviously, where would be the fun in that? But what Artemis's mom is saying has some merit, but there is also a big loss if you just bring the people and don't bring the city back as well. So you have to figure out sort of what you think is best. Artemis's mom doesn't have all the answers, is I guess what I'm really drilling down to.
I think we still have I know we still have quite a long time before we can actually attempt to bring anybody back, including just ourselves. So you've given us a lot to think about. That we'll probably discuss over the next 3 to 4 days, 3 to 5 days. But I think our main priority right now is keeping you safe so that we can finish what we've started.
Yes, I'm sorry to add a burden. Whatever you decide to do, I will support you part of this. And
You don't need to apologize. You've been through a lot tonight. So,
right.
It was a good thing for us to think about, too.
yes.
Right. Well, with that, I am going to meditate properly for the first time in 4 years, apparently. And
I'll show you up to your room.
yes, and perhaps I'll spend some time trying to journal to make some sense of what's happened, and maybe I can, once I do, can give you some some information about what your brother's been up to. Good night, everyone.
Night.
Night.
You
Sweet
escort
dreams.
your mom up to the room.
Yep.
Come back down to your friends. She hugs you goodnight and says, thank you for saving me. It's not a position you want to put your son in. I appreciate it, and I'm proud of you.
I'm never leaving you behind again.
She hugs you. And as you pull away, you can see, tears welling in her eyes again, but she sort of nods and turns into the room to meditate for the night.
Close the door. Head back downstairs. Head straight for Penny.
Look, listen. Okay. Listen. It's all right. It's just a joke. Your mom is very confused and she's not going to remember any of that in the morning. Okay?
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's just my mother, who I've had trauma about for 4 years, who's just been
Oh.
manipulated for the
Yeah, at
past
least your mom's
3 and a half.
alive. Yeah, at least your mom's alive. You can give her a little hug. Oh, remember when I thought I saw my mom and I chose you and Oikos over my dead mom, who I thought might be
Remember
alive?
when you tried to make me join your dead mom because she said to kill me?
I was never going to choose my dead mom over Oikos.
I'm gonna whisper to Elina, can you cast calm emotions?
I'm gonna cast calm emotions again.
You
Maybe we
feel
should
a
have a drink.
wave of ease.
Are they resisting it?
Artemis, we both no.
No, I welcome it. Good God, I welcome it.
Artemis, we both have trauma with our mommies. And I'm sorry that I did a bit during a very emotional moment. Okay. I apologize.
In about 48 hours, I'm gonna respect the hell out of that move.
Okay, great.
Let's drink.
Let's.
So, are Penny and Artemis not a thing?
No.
Bowmin.
I'll give it time, Mr. Bowmin. Never say
Shall-
never.
Shall we toast to everyone's favorite mom, Felocial,
Absolutely.
who we can all agree has it going on?
And at
I'm
that
putting
exact
it again.
moment, Octavia's mom comes on over the gramophone as you all toast and drink after a successful jailbreak mission, an emotionally harrowing conversation, and a number of political considerations that you weren't even thinking about before to consider. And with that, we will end tonight's episode. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for playing, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.